Welcome to NBA basketball. This is 2K Sports bringing it to you live. It's Tuesday Hoops, and it's next. It's the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Miami Heat. And that's a wrap for me here in the studio. Now let's send you out to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. I'll see you again at halftime.
It's time for the NBA, live on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg alongside. And our sideline reporter tonight is Doris Burke. A quick check now at the starting five for both teams. First for San Antonio, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in a power forward. And then for the Miami Heat, Chalmers and D. Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. Then it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the 4 slot.
You know, part of being a championship team is having the talent first and foremost, but then managing the minutes of that talent. The Heat, I thought, did a nice job monitoring the minutes of the big three throughout the season and playoffs last year.
And so the tip-off, it's Miami. LeBron outside from deep three-point range. Rebound San Antonio. Well, as you said, Clark, the big three in their prime, but really you want them to just get their work in during the season, not exhaust themselves before they make it to the playoffs.
I thought, Kevin, along those lines, I thought by the end of last season, Miami was exhausted. And once you try to win a third title in a row, the emotional fatigue and exhaustion really becomes a factor. So this is going to be interesting to watch all year.
That's good.
And I'll say this about him, Kevin. I mean, it looks like he's made of rubber sometimes because defenders just bounce off him when he's driving the lane. What a finisher.
And also, he's one of those guys who can cover 94 feet in the blink of an eye and often does, with or without help on the break.
Here's Green, following the basket by LeBron James. Gets it to go. Green's got his first points of the game. First quarter of play, 1 minute played. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Kevin, thank you. I caught up with Eric Spoelstra. He talked about the challenge of game planning for Tim Duncan. He said Timmy's one of the best to ever do it on the low block. We've just got to play the percentages, force him to his left, and force him to make tough, contested shots. Guys, even though Duncan isn't a deadly free throw shooter, he knows how to draw contact. They want to avoid getting baited into silly fouls. Back to you.
Thank you, Doris. He kicks to Wade. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist.
Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what's best for the team. Has a military background, played basketball and studied at the Air Force Academy before serving 5 years in the Air Force. And you know some of the leadership that he brings to his position was learned from his past experiences.
Now, here's Chalmers. After LeBron James's miss, Chalmers passes to LeBron. And that misses. That would have put him up.
I like the defense, guys, really getting a hand up and challenging shots.
Yeah, Steve, lurking on that shot, and that was a tough one.
The open shot, Green. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. And Clark, you mentioned Pop's time at the Air Force Academy. That's where he got his start in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, 6 years as an assistant there. He's head coach at Pomona, an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs, and eventually moved into the front office in San Antonio. But, wow, what an amazing run it's been for him. 17 years as the head coach of the Spurs.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play.
First quarter of basketball, just over 2.5 minutes played. Parker double teamed. Pass to Leonard. There's the dish to Splitter. Leonard with the ball. Wade picks him up. And it's slammed in by Splitter. Stupendous rush to the rim and a mighty slam on the end of it.
But through the teeth of some pretty soft D, I can't help but say that.
Well, let's see how that impacts things here, because those kinds of plays sometimes can be game changers on both sides. And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. You know, swept the Lakers, survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, we're seconds away from another championship banner.
Now, here's Chalmers. Wade dishes to Bosch. Shot clock at 6. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
How about that screen by D. Wade?
For San Antonio, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field, shooting over 50%. Well, getting back to the Spurs, they look better and better as they went deeper into the playoffs, Clark. Heat were thought to be the heavy favorites at the start of the NBA postseason. But when they met in the finals, thoughts on who would win, I think, were pretty much split.
Yeah, and eventually, you know, this was one heck of a series because the Spurs not only had experience and talent, but they had multiple options offensively and did such a terrific job sharing the ball. They took the Miami Heat to the limit, but at the end of the day, it came down to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade rising to the challenge.
San Antonio making a switch here. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Bellinelli in for Daniel Green. Heat on D. Here's Bellinelli. Pass to Parker. And the rejection by LeBron. Battier kicks to LeBron. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession.
Battier playing the small ball 4, a stretch 4 they call it as well. At 6'8", he's got the size and strength to step into that role when the matchup is right for him.
San Antonio trailing here. Parker outside. 1:43 left to play here in the first. Ball's knocked loose. Stolen by Anderson. Fires for 3. A shot by LeBron. No good. The Spurs shooting well right out of the gates here at around 50%. And going back to Battier at the 4, he can play inside. He's got that, Steve, that little hook shot in the paint.
But the big thing is the reason you play him at the 4 is to stretch out the defense. Battier can shoot the 3 from anywhere on the floor. So if you put him at the 4, now all of a sudden the lane is wide open for his teammates, and it becomes much more difficult to cover the entire floor for the defense.
Now Battier, after LeBron's three-pointer that didn't go, gets it to go. Cole's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. 1:04 left to play in the first quarter. Here's Bellinelli, defended by Allen. Ginobili with a screen on Allen. Parker outside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And Norris Cole's going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Looked to me like the defender didn't get squared up and get his feet set.
Good work by the officials. A nice call. That play can be tough to judge sometimes.
Diaw, the pass to Parker. Leads him in there. Bonner. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Well, he's certainly not the biggest name or somebody that strikes fear into the heart of coaches, but Matt Bonner is more than serviceable and knows how to be a thorn in the side of other teams. He just sits out on the perimeter, and when he's open, he knocks down threes.
That free throw missing. And Bonner, the Red Rocket, so deadly with that unorthodox release from the shoulder.
Yeah, three-point specialist. He helps space the floor for this great offense, and he's got a good feel, too. A good passer and knows where he needs to be defensively.
You know, when something works for you, you stay with it. The Heat saw after the 2012 finals that small ball was very effective for them. You can see why they chose to do that, given how hard it is to find a power forward that can match up with LeBron. Makes good sense.
5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. The feed to Ginobili. Dishes to Diaw. And there's the pass to Parker. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Now LeBron. He's got 7. He feeds it to Allen. But Trey. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. Allen's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. And we reach the end of the first quarter. Miami ahead, leading by 9. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. Welcome back, everyone. We're ready to get going again as this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports continues. Players are topped off with Gatorade, hydrated, and ready to get going again as well. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Heat.
What great hustle defensively through 2 quarters of play, contesting everything, starting to rack up those blocked shots, guys.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Guys, it's hard to doubt that LeBron James, after 2 straight titles and 4 MVPs in the last 5 years, seems to be at the top of his game. LeBron candidly said, quote, "I'm at my highest peak. I don't know if I can continue to improve." But he certainly remains motivated, saying, quote, "At the end of the day, I have a goal to be the best of all time, and I'm going to put that pressure on myself." And Kevin, if he can just stay at this level for a long period of time, he may get there.
I like his chances. Thanks. Now, Parker, after LeBron's three-pointer that didn't go.
Get outside, get outside.
6 on the shot clock. Parker double team. Cole, and we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there.
You know, Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra worked his way up from the very bottom in that organization. I mean, he got his start as a video coordinator, and through years of hard work and dedication has really become an outstanding coach.
Allen, that's good.
D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
Spurs trail by 10. Bellinelli dishes to Parker. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And back to Coach Eric Spoelstra as a guy who got his start as a video coordinator, picking the game apart. Steve, he's very comfortable with the new advanced stat movement, analytics in the NBA.
Yeah, and I've had a chance to speak with him quite a bit. He says that the way they use advanced stats is just as a conversation piece in the coaching room. Their analytics department will bring them various information, and it will force them to ask questions, which is very healthy for a coaching staff to do.
The Spurs making a switch here. Splitters checked in for Matt Bonner. Duncan comes in for Boris Diaw. Kawhi Leonard is checked in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Green in for Bellinelli.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
Now here's Parker. Here's Splitter. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Splitter's got 5 now.
Now, he's one of the best in the league when it comes to executing that lead pass.
Wade drives in. Green with the block. And they're able to recover. And Haslam kicks to Chalmers. Tipped away. Here's Bosch. The shot misses. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Green kicks to Parker. Rejected by Haslam. Wade against Green. Wade right side. Feeds it to Haslam. He dishes it to Allen. And the Heat, another three.
Well, Allen is the all-time leader in three-pointers made, past Reggie Miller a couple of years ago. So obviously you have to worry about him out there. But what makes Allen so good is that he can also put the ball on the floor, get into the paint, and score at that mid-range area as well.
And he really has a fondness for those corners. I mean, you just can't help off of him. Too much of a threat from out there. You've got to stay connected to him.
And here is Parker. Following the three from Ray Allen. Parker kicks to Green. Off target from outside. Miami leading by 11.
Boy, this is a neat story, guys. Danny Green was undrafted out of North Carolina. And another nice find for perhaps the best organization in all of sports, the San Antonio Spurs. He's an excellent three-point shooter, over 40% from three-point range for his career. He helps that team spread the floor, and that energizes their high-powered offense.
The teardrop falls in. Parker's got 4 points in the quarter.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
Now here's Chalmers. He passes to Allen. The 9-foot shot out to Wade. Tim Duncan grabs the miss. Duncan's got his 4th rebound in this one. And Green, nice versatility, too. Not just an outside shooter.
No, he's an excellent defensive player. In fact, Greg Popovich calls upon him to often guard the opponent's best wing player. So for Green, a two-way player, a guy who can get it done at both ends of the floor.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, guys, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, one of the most respected coaches in the league. As hard as he works, he's never took the game or himself too seriously. Asked about his creativity as a coach, he said, quote, "Oh, heck, I don't know anything about innovation. Here's my innovation. I drafted Tim Duncan." Okay, end of story. Guys, always a straight shooter.
Thank you, Doris. I would say Coach Popovich sold himself a little bit short. He's a very humble guy and very well respected.
Oh, he sure is. And he knows how much Duncan does out there, but we all know what a great coach Pop is.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Joel Anthony's checked in for Bosch. Anderson comes in for Udonis Haslem. Shane Battier is checked in for Ray Allen. And it's Norris Cole in for Dwayne Wade. Now here's Parker. 1:36 left in the first half. Leonard the pass to Duncan. And the shot is good. Duncan's got his first bucket in this one.
Well, and the bounce pass was the key to the play.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas, but the opposite was true with this group. They turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
We've got 1:13 left in the second quarter. Chalmers against Parker. Double team on Parker. Kicks to Leonard. Left side, Leonard. Clock at 6. Parker dishes to Green. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 3 assists now in this one. Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last year in the fourth was because they had so many options when possessions, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think, allows them to execute under pressure.
And the Spurs making a change here. Diaz checked in. Anderson kicks to Chalmers. Cole. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. Here's Parker. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Outside Leonard. Pass to Green. Wide open. They get it back. Splitter. He gets it to fall. That makes it just a single-digit lead. Splitter's got 4 points this quarter. Inside. Oh, and the jam by Anthony. An indication there of why the scoreboard looks like it does. Very passive defense.
But the finish was anything but passive.
No, he hammered that down, Clark. Superb above the rim action.
Stolen by Chalmers. And so we conclude the first half. Heat lead by 11. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
Now, presented by Sprint.
This is the halftime show. Let's break down all the first half action. Miami up on top against San Antonio. They're really working that ball around, doing a nice job keeping the D off balance. We've seen Ray Allen scoring effortlessly against San Antonio. How's that for a shooting percentage? 100. Yes, 100% from the court. Not too bad. And for the Spurs, they're still gutting it out. Too many turnovers. Tough to win when you're giving the ball away as easily as they have. They need to start playing smarter basketball in the second half. Thiago Splitter with a big contribution. At the break, 7 points, and he's also contributed on the glass. And that's it for us here in the studio. Time to send it on back out to Kevin Harlan and the gang for the start of the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And we welcome you back with a beautiful view of downtown Miami and the sparkling American Airlines Arena.
Tremendous output from Allen. 12 points and also a couple of rebounds. He's been just as deadly from beyond the arc as he's been inside of it.
Yeah, really showcasing that range today.
Spurs trail by 11. To the paint, here's Parker, and he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Parker's got the first field goal of the second half for the Spurs.
Seems like every year, guys, you look at Tony Parker and he's found something else to add to his game. He's always improving.
Wade for three, and it's good. Wade's got 9 points. The Spurs shooting certainly a key for them in this one. 55% from the field. He kicks it to Duncan. Outside Leonard. Parker outside. Six to shoot. And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. And last season for Tony Parker, arguably his best ever. 20 points a game, almost 8 assists. 52% Steve from the field, and there was even talk at midseason about maybe MVP consideration.
Well, his ability to score inside around the rim is amazing, but he's also become a master of knocking down the jump shot from that 15 to 18-foot range. But really, this team has been built now around Parker. Their offensive strategy completely tailored to suit his talents.
Here's Chalmers after the made shot from Splitter. Now Chalmers. He's against Parker. LeBron outside. From the arc. Goes back up. And Bosch with the layup. And the Heat lead by 12.
Well, the defense just looked a little lazy on the glass there.
Yeah, nobody boxing out. That's inexcusable.
San Antonio calls timeout.
Well, Miami stormed through the regular season and were viewed as the clear-cut favorites to come out of the East, but it was not as easy as expected. After sweeping Milwaukee, the Bulls gave them a scare. Then the Pacers really took them deep all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Shane Battier is checked in for Miami. Just over a minute and a half played here in the third. Here's Green. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And for the Heat, the Pacers were their first real test, it seemed, and they had to survive a win or go home against him. It almost seemed, Clark, to take away any momentum they might have had when they went up against the Spurs in the finals.
You know, it's interesting. When I think of momentum in the playoffs, it doesn't carry over from game to game or series to series. I think each game, Kevin, is really an entity in and of itself. That said, Miami found a way, despite being pushed by the Pacers and being pushed by the Spurs, both to Game 7. It came down to LeBron James's brilliance, but also the hot shooting of a complimentary role-playing winner, Shane Battier.
Wade outside. San Antonio with the rebound. Splitters got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Here's Green. Second shot opportunity. Duncan can't hit. The Heat leading by 10. LeBron left side. Battier outside. Buries it from three-point range.
The D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been of the three-point variety.
Yeah, and unless they make some rotations and closeouts defensively, there's more to come, Clark.
Parker with it. Now guarded by Mario Chalmers. Chalmers and wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball. So it's Miami now. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession.
Really poor decision on that pass.
So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Daniel Green. And it's Bellinelli in for Tony Parker. Spurs trail by 13. And Bellinelli kicks to Leonard. They double him with LeBron. Bellinelli defended by Chalmers. Here's Diaw. And it's Miami with the rebound. From deep. And LeBron with the basket, the assist by Bosh. 10 points for LeBron.
This defense is giving their shooters free rein to operate from behind the arc.
That's right. I think it's time for them to start closing down. You've got to run shooters off that three-point line.
Here's Bellinelli. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
Well, coming off a title last year, you always wonder if a team will maybe relax a little bit. They usually won't admit to it, but Chris Bosh readily said it at times that his team had a difficult time lighting that fire again.
Tony Parker's checked in for San Antonio. Now here's LeBron. Out to Wade. Back to LeBron. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
Impressive play there, and they have been really good offensively.
Piling up the points en route to this big lead, guys. I mean, they've been unstoppable.
I'm going to go back to what Bosh said. I think that is true for every team, Clark, that comes off a championship, but they usually don't admit it like Bosh did.
Well, you know what? Once you've won it all, there is a bit of a relief and a little malaise that may settle over you, but I've always respected Bosh's candor. He's a guy who doesn't bite his tongue, and he articulates what he feels, and I think it's impressive that they fought back to the finals once more, because that shows they eventually did recapture that fire.
The Heat making a switch here. Haslam's checked in. Knocked away. And here's LeBron outside. It's hauled in by Tony Parker.
Not the best shot. Long range and with a defender right in his space.
And defensively, that's the kind of work he's known for. I mean, he loves to lock you up.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Heat.
These long-range shots look like layups out there, guys.
You know, something else I've noticed is just how many of their baskets have been set up by assists throughout the game. Well, I think this is one of the more amazing stats in sports when you think about it. No matter the season or the roster, the Spurs just seem to find ways to win 50 games. They've done it 14 straight seasons now, which is off the charts.
Now the Heat with it. They're on a 14-6 run. Chalmers against Parker. Chalmers passed away. LeBron outside. The three. That falls. Nice speed that time from Dwayne Wade. Wade's got 3 assists in the game. .121 left in the third. And Clark, as you said, the Spurs last season hitting 50 wins for the 14th consecutive season. By the way, that's an NBA record. Second closest were the Lakers with 12 straight, Steve, from 79 to 91.
Yeah, 58 wins last season for San Antonio. Greg Popovich calls it corporate knowledge, just the consistency that comes with the experience of the group. And they've been together so long, particularly that core, that I think it allows the Spurs to really kind of cruise at times during the regular season.
Heat on D. Ginobili with the three. Rebounded by Anderson. Now Haslam inside. Here's Cole. Tries to keep it alive. No good with the triple. Spurs trail by 20. Parker dishes to Ginobili. Count that one. Ginobili's got 4 points this quarter.
The defense has not been able to keep the ball out of the paint at that end of the floor.
Well, I'd like to know how many of their attempts have come from inside 5 feet. It seems like everything is right at the rim.
It's Parker with the drive. And that one's good. Parker's got 8.
All the points these defenders are allowing inside is inexcusable. That's 5 baskets in a row, and they've all been practically lay-ins.
Yeah, they've got to harden and toughen up down there, guys.
Now here's Lewis. Passes it to Allen. The dish to Cole. The three. It's rebounded by Boris Diaw. The Spurs have gone 5 of 9 on field goal attempts since halftime. Pass to Leonard. Back to Ginobili. Parker outside. The feed to Diaw. From deep. And that's not going to go. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. It's the Heat up by 16. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. The Heat leading by 16. Here's Cole. An easy 2 points on the layup. Cole's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Heat. San Antonio with the ball. Here's Bellinelli. The pass to Splitter. Shot on the wing, and it's blocked by Bosh. LeBron James on the wing, covered by Duncan. The shot's good from LeBron. LeBron's got 10 points here in the second half.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on him.
Here's Bellinelli, defended by Cole. Allen against Leonard. 6 on the shot clock. Right side, Leonard. Excellent D there from Allen.
Had a pretty good look at the basket, but defensively they did a nice job rotating, forcing the miss.
And the Heat call time here.
You know, the more you watch Kawhi Leonard play, the more you realize that he is the perfect fit for the Spurs. I mean, he just looks like a Spur, and he's only been in the league a couple of years. Plays great defense, shoots from deep at a high rate, and really knows, accepts, and embraces his role on the team.
The Spurs making a switch here. Parker's checked in. Here's Cole. Wade outside. Dishes it to Bosh. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. Wade's got his 4th assist in this one. And back to Kawhi Leonard. Coach Popovich sees him as their defensive stopper on the wing. But not just that. He thinks he's going to be a star in so many ways, Steve.
Well, he could become the face of the franchise, Kevin, if you think about it, once Tim Duncan and Parker and Ginobili move on. But, you know, Popovich, not one prone to hyperbole, but he absolutely loves this kid. The defenders need to talk to each other. The communication lacking there on that three-pointer.
Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. Here's Cole, covered by Parker. And Cole kicks to Wade. Left side, Bosh. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, when you have the best record in the league, you're going to be one of the most dominant teams at home. The Heat just destroyed people down in Miami, and only the Denver Nuggets had more wins at home than the Heat did.
No good on the free throw. And how crazy is that from the Heat to win as many games as they did last season, but still be second in the league in home wins? Still, we're far and away #1 at home in the East.
Well, yeah, the Knicks were the closest team in the East, but they still had 6 fewer wins at home than Miami. But the Heat really just did what they had to do to put themselves in position to go on to their second NBA title in a row.
LeBron with it. He's picked up by Parker. LeBron, no luck.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Parker against Bosh. And stolen by LeBron. And now it's Allen. Running. He can go all the way. Parker with the steal. Leonard against Wade. Splitter. It's blocked. Allen kicks to LeBron. LeBron against Parker. That's good.
Such an aggressive attitude he has. No invitation needed for him to take it strong to the basket.
Backing down is LeBron. Dwayne Wade on the wing. Back to LeBron. Covered by Duncan. LeBron kicks to Allen. Again, the miss by the Heat. Spurs trail by 16. The drive by Green. He feeds it to Splitter. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty. Absolutely, Clark. No one in his airspace on that dunk.
Yeah, but come on, Kevin. The defense can't let that happen.
I hope they let it happen more. It's fun to watch that guy fly.
Just a gift, 2 points they gave up. That's awful.
Boy, you got to love that assist by LeBron.
San Antonio calls timeout. They're down by 16. 1:52 left in the fourth quarter. Manu Ginobili's checked in for San Antonio. .152 left in the fourth quarter. Parker passes to Ginobili. Oh, trying for it. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. And there's 1:45 left to play in the final quarter. It's Parker with the drive.
More often than not today, those shots have not dropped for him.
No good. Wade outside. LeBron James on the wing. And that one is stuck right through.
And that puts a cherry on top, so to speak, of what's been a phenomenal showing for them.
All over but the whining now, Steve.
1:22 left in the fourth quarter. Ginobili against Wade. Ginobili kicks to Parker to the inside. Splitter dishes to Duncan. And it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Tony Parker. .109 left here in the fourth quarter. Shot clock at 6. It's Ginobili with the drive. Shoots from the baseline. And he hits the jump shot. The Heat have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Cole, the pass to Bosh. 46 seconds left in the fourth. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the way up.
Well, if it wasn't already out of reach, it is now thanks to this spurt.
Just keep on firing, man. No reason to slow down now.
Feeds it to Ginobili. He dishes it to Bonner. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili.
It's interesting. They're like a different team now. Suddenly, they've got energy.
You know, it's not going to change anything other than to make their losing margin a little more respectable.
Diaw with the steal.
Yeah, no way you can come back from this deficit.
Just not enough time left on the clock.
And Ginobili, here we go. And it's Miami with the rebound. They led the game at one point by 20. James comes up empty from 19 feet out.
Major defensive lapse right there. And he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dreamlike games for a coach.
Well, that'll do it. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time.